Hi, folks. Hello. How's everyone doing this morning? Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, hi, lovely. Hi, Rose. It's morning time for me. I'm not sure what it is for everybody else. Not even sure if folks are roaming in and about this morning or not. So, but just wanted to do a little bit of a live. I had a great conversation with someone this morning, and it just made me really think about the navigation, navigating the Lukola waters. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, cool, cloudy England in the afternoon. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the weather is. I haven't looked out the window yet out of my house to see what the weather is right now, but it is starting to turn weather-wise after a while. So the question I have for y'all as part of the fandom is, how are you navigating the Lukola waters right now? KM Shoppy said, good morning. Good morning, KM Shoppy. Time as Endor 129 said, cloudy and hungry. Michelle MAD said, hot fall in Missouri. I love the fact that people are in so many different places whenever we have these lives, just everybody coming from around the world. I really do appreciate that. Saskia, maybe is what it is. Very cloudy in Belgium. Sandra, I think Sandra MM underscore 79, cold and gray in London. So it sounds like a lot of us have overcast weather right now. For the most part, not all. Let's see. ZSE, so BIBA6 said cloudy in Austria. All right. So how are y'all? I don't know if that's the right question to ask necessarily. But like, how are you navigating the Lukola waters right now? RH Gib 01 said, I love the feeling of anticipation, so I'm patiently waiting. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, after initial mental implosion when Luke posted, am now chill. What will be, will be. Nish said, rainy and cold in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Very nice. So how are folks navigating the Lukola waters right now? Ronnie said, how are you? Hi, Ronnie. Thank you for your daily heart me. I am doing okay. I went to Chad's gravesite yesterday, and they haven't had, like, what do you call that? It's not a headstone, because they're not going to do like an actual like headstone, but like, you know, where they put the name stuff. But I guess they haven't like sorted out what they're going to be putting on it yet. So they haven't put that down yet, but I still obviously knew where he was buried, but, so I knew where to go, but, so that was nice to see him for a little bit. Diana June said hot and sunny Texas. Okay, so you're one of the few that there's no cloudiness around you. Sasleya, placard. What's, could you tell me a little bit more about what that means? Because I'm not quite sure I know what that means. Could you clarify a little bit more? Nish says, I'm so happy after Luke posted and the story and his cheeky comment. We have our Pookie back, guys. It is always great to hear from Luke and to know that they're filming. I'm excited for that. Oh, placard. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay, Sasleya said, some of my relatives are buried with a placard instead of a headstone. Yes, that's probably what it is, because that's like the flat one, right? And the wild thing was, it turned out that he literally got buried just a few steps away from my cousin, who passed away very early in life, even earlier than Chad did, because Chad passed away at 44. My cousin passed away, I think, my word, in his 30s. Stella said, season 4, I want to see Pollen. Ronnie said that always cracked me up. What always cracked you up, Ronnie? Maria Fernandez G363 said, hello, 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 España. Hello. So, for those that are continuing to come in, my question to folks has been, how are y'all navigating the Lukola waters right now? Hey, Tam. Good morning. How are you doing? Oh, no. It blocked your first comment. Why? Why? I never know why. Rose _Teresa 66 says on Google, they said a tablet memorial. We don't have them. We don't really have them here. Are most all of yours headstones? Chantel said navigating silently. Fallon _Bridgerton Pollen said I'm still shipping. Kristen said maybe we will get a pollen picture today. Wishful thinking. LOL. Ronnie said I didn't even type anything bad. Yeah, I never know. I never know what triggers whatever. I don't know what causes TikTok to say no, I'm not going to post this comment or not. I have no idea. Jenny ZZZY said standing by to stand by. Diana June said enjoy y'all more than Lukola. KM Shoppy said I feel that things are very interesting right now. We just need to wait and see. N Fontisiela said, do we know if she's there filming as well, or if this is just a call-in with his brothers type of thing? I don't know. I don't personally know if she's there currently. I just know that she says they've been filming for a month. I mean, I assume they've already filmed some stuff together at some point already, but that's just an assumption on my part. Whether or not it's the most recent one, I don't know. Rose _Teresa 66 says, how are you navigating the waters? We generally just have headstone. Okay, gotcha. How am I navigating the waters? It's been interesting, Rose. So when I put out my statement about like pulling back on some content, I think people really misunderstood. Well, no, that's not true. I think most people were very respectful of that decision, but a lot of people, I think, also misunderstood it as like me jumping ship, no longer being a Lukola shipper, not believing in Lukola or something of that, like around that realm, which has been like interesting to try to like communicate that, you know, I am a Lukola shipper, still I'm an endgame Lukola shipper, and yet at the same time, I think if I was the only one who had done a video like that at that time, I don't know if people would have perceived it that way. Maybe they would have. I tried very hard in that video to express that I was still a Lukola shipper, that I was still sad in the Lido deck, but people, I think, still heard something else sometimes. But I think it was compounded because there were other creators at the same time making somewhat the same decisions. And like I had said in a previous live, like there was no conversation between creators to say like, we're going to all make this kind of similar decisions. It just so happened that that was happening. And so I didn't even know it was happening fully until like I started hearing people saying, oh, people are jumping ship and like all of this stuff. So so that was a very interesting thing. So I'm still figuring it out, right? Because a lot of people felt like it was an overreaction to the moment. And I felt like sometimes an overreaction is necessary on one side in order to be able to feel more comfortable coming into a place where you're feeling like, what is the most respectful and kind thing to do? You know, and at the same time, when people were like, well, why wasn't the same, respect given to Luke during that time as well? And it was like, well, can't change the past. I mean, it, you know, mistakes were made or whatnot on my side, right? Bessie Boo said, I'm just chilling, enjoying whatever L and N give us. I think that's the best place to be, honestly. Just chilling and enjoying whatever they give. Fallon _Bridgerton _Pollen said, what are your thoughts on it? What are your thoughts on the whole thing? I mean, I think at the end of the day, um, what I wish, like if I could have a magic wand, and if I could have a magic wand and get what I want again, I mean, this is my thoughts. Go sometimes to wishful thinking, Fallon underscore Bridgerton Pollen underscore Pollen. I wish that we could go back to a time when I first came into the fandom where people were just literally having fun. People weren't thinking too seriously about things. They weren't so beholden to one thing or another, that they could just have fun, and they made space for people to be silly and to joke around, and but now everything became so serious to some folks where literally they'd get mad at people for being playful or joking, because they were like, this is not funny. This is not, like, it was just too serious, when it was like back in the day it was just cutesy and like fun, lighthearted, you know? And I think it just got serious somehow, somewhere, and I don't know why. Thank you, Fallon underscore Bridgerton underscore Pollen, for the gift. I don't know why that was the choice made to make it more serious than I think it needed to become. And then, I don't know, I felt like our community was very united. I felt like everybody liked each other. For the most part, I felt like that was the case. And then I don't know where it happened or how it happened, then people got judgy. I think like people started splitting into factions. That's when it started not being fun. When people felt like you had to side with something or other. And I don't find that fun. I'm very much can we just hear each other out and not make each other villains? And I feel like at some point, people made each other villains in their minds. I think Ronnie had called it fake enemies. I had written a song called Imaginary Enemy. Thank you, Mo Lambert, for the gift. I think that's when everything went off the rails. Because there's no enemy. And yet people started I don't know, making judgment calls on each other and assuming the worst in each other, instead of believing that everybody was just loving Lukola, and maybe loving Lukola in a way that's different than another person. And maybe we disagree, but it doesn't have to be you're a bad person or you're this or that. Not to say that people were saying that, but it started to feel like that. It started to feel like and the thing is, I stay so much in my own lane that I think I didn't even understand all of this stuff was happening until it was way too late. I would maybe have conversations, but I guess I just didn't know the depth of the fractures that were happening. And it made me so sad, because there was such a united, I guess, front, the united group with the Lukola folks. And so I didn't know when it happened fully. I don't know why it happened fully. I actually still don't fully know. So I think I'm grappling a little bit with that kind of loss. I've been grappling. I haven't been around as much because I've been grappling with the death of my friend. But there's kind of been a death of the fandom too. Not the fandom is still alive and well, but the fandom that I fell in love with. Thank you, Robin, for the gift. I feel like I'm mourning that a little bit, because it was so fun. It was just a lot of fun. And I recognize that it is odd to ship real people. And I think the majority of the folks that have been Lukola shippers have typically not ever shipped celebrity, real people. I will say though, is shipping real people is not unheard of. I would ship my friends all the time. when I saw my friend with somebody who I thought was like really a potential for them and I thought would be super cute, maybe maybe it wasn't called shipping, but like I definitely like was like, oh, it would be great if that person ended up with them. And as long as like we didn't make it awkward for them to kind of try to see if they can pursue that, if we just kept it in the like private realm of like, oh, that was cute what that person did with you or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think that's kind of like maybe where it kind of kind of like hard to do when you're a public figure and people are talking about how cute you are. But here's the thing too, like I think about like the press tool, right? When Birds of a Feather was connected with Lukola edits, and Luke is out here talking about Birds of a Feather, and Nicholas like, oh, are there edits of us in Birds of a Feather? And people are like, he told on himself because those are Lukola edits, those are not pollen edits, you know? Like those things, those were cute and fun. And like, so I also know that because Luke did say he loved the Birds of a Feather edits, and those tended to be Lukola edits, not pollen edits, that he was watching those and he did love them at that time. And so I'm like, where did we get off the rails so much that like that kind of cutesy stuff suddenly looked like a bad thing to some folks? And that's why I'm like, I am trying to like wrestle with like what my content is. And I think the biggest thing that I'm trying to like maybe to keep off of my page, not because I think there's anything wrong with it, but I think because the larger the scale, the more misunderstanding can happen, especially for people who want to actively misunderstand you, who actively want to attach something negative to your intentions, who automatically want to assume the worst in you. Like it's probably not the best platform for. So those usually have to go into group chats or private chats where people are more apt to listen to you and like go back and forth with you rather than people who just want to make judgment calls on you because they see a post, right? But even the post that I just did that was supposed to be cutesy, you know, and just me giggling at how cute it was that they liked this British Vogue post, there were still people that like, well, not people, there was only just one person, but who makes a snidey comment, and it's like, oh my word, this is, and not to say that you can't avoid that, you know, there's people who are going to do that, but it's like, but I guess it's like an exasperation I have where it's like, I'm glad for people who just have fun with it instead of being like so serious with it. Like, oh, I thought for sure, like the reason they're both liking this is because both of them are friends with that person. Well, no duh, Sherlock. I'm not saying that they liked it because they liked the statement about friends to lovers. Okay. I'm not saying, I get that they liked it because their friends are in it. I'm not an idiot. I'm saying that I just think it's cute that it is a post about a friends to lovers situation. And so that's what I mean. Like when I get like so annoyed a little bit about like how obtuse people will actively try to be, where it's like, I can't believe you can't understand that they're liking it because those are their friends. Where did I say that I didn't understand that? I'm just saying it's still cute. Can we agree that it's still cute? Maybe not. Maybe you can't agree that it's cute. But if I'm a Lukola shipper, I'm going to think that kind of stuff is cute. Anyways, that's a long statement. And now there's 93 new messages. So let me go down these. Alex Fucana 40 said, just decided they're acting as chaotic as possible to make sure we don't feel like we know anything. And the thing is, though, we like, it's a great feeling to understand that we genuinely don't know anything. And that's another thing that I'm like, why did it get so volatile when the reality is nobody knows anything? Like, how did fighting and infighting happen when literally nobody knows anything? Did we start talking like we knew anything? Like when I say what I say and I'm expressing hope. I'm not expressing fact. And and even like factual things usually have room for interpretation. You know what I'm saying? So even when people are sharing like factual statements like about a photo, about a video, there is still room for interpretation that no longer is fact, but just opinion. So I'm like, how are people fighting over opinion? Like, why can't we make space to like learn from each other and hear from each other without being upset that the other person holds like a different perspective on the same situation? Beth Morrissey 16 said Luke and Nicola will launch when no one expects it. Nish says, I think Nick is back on set as well. Michelle MAD said, I started reading fanfic, went away from in real life goings on. Sasaleya said, I'm still under the assumption Lukola had more of an open relationship kind of thing, no labels, etc. Ronnie said, OMG, LOL, I blocked it again. Okay, Ronnie, can you message it to me later? Because what in the world were you trying to say? Con said, do we know if A was with Luke? She posted something suspicious on her story day before yesterday. Con, this is just personally for me. I respect that you care, but I will say this right now. I do not care about what she posts. I don't know if she was, I don't. Like, I'm sorry, Con. I totally respect that you are curious about that. Honestly, I have never understood why people continue to be fascinated about all that stuff. So I don't know how to respond to that, except to just explicitly say, I don't know, because I don't watch anything that individual posts. And I was trying to say that I was trying to be more respectful to her for the sake of Luke. But there is a reason I blocked her, right? Because in my desire to be respectful of Luke, I still have my knee-jerk reaction to how much she is centered in people's thoughts, because I don't understand it personally. So I feel myself recoiling, and it's not her fault. She's not done anything per se. This is a me issue that I cannot stand how much she's brought in, and what does she do? I don't care. I really don't. And so it's not against you, Con, that you asked that question. I just get so irritated by like all of that stuff. That's why she got blocked on my IG and my TikTok, because I didn't care to know what she wanted to try to put out there when it has no bearing to me about Luke and Nicola. Ronnie says, this app abhors me and I hope it knows it's mutual, LOL. Oh, Ronnie. Tam said, still shipping. Rose _ Teresa 66 says, Penn says she was going back to filming an interview, whether this Friday, who knows. KLBKLB 1978 said, trying to think rationally, but still hopeful they'll be together. Cecilia said, yeah. Alex Few Canna 4D said, totally overreactions are better than no reactions. Stella said, I think that they are not together. Rose _ Teresa 66 says, expect most of the scenes will have Penn. Nick seems like she might insist on that. Debs says, I always remember that Luke and Nick okay us to ship them. They never took it back. Louisa said, I'm still shipping living off crumbs. Fallon _ Bridgerton _ Pollen said, yes, everything is taken so seriously. Cecilia said, I think it's the reverse. Ooh. Let's see. What do you think is the reverse, Cecilia? What was the reverse? That you feel like it hasn't been taken seriously enough? Maybe is that what you're saying? Diana said, hi. I know this comes from like Nicholas saying it this way, but I can never say it myself. Like waiting for a pic with them together here on the ship. Thank you, watching lady, for the gift. Nish says, I think N and L had open convos recently and trying to figure stuff out between one another feel. Plus something else. Michelle MAD said, I agree. People started fighting over the possible Easter eggs. Louisa said, we need our pollen picture. Cecilia said, who knows? They're happy, and that's what really matters, is working for them, whatever it is, LOL. Ronnie said, the splitting always happens because new boundaries get established for individuals, and people like to keep it black and white when that's not realistic. Rose _ Teresa 66 says, some content creators possibly sounded too certain about who is with who, and people not wanting, and then stops. I don't know what it was saying there. Ronnie said it started in September and has progressed. Oh, no wonder. No wonder, Ronnie, that I totally missed it. That's literally right when everything was happening with Chad. That's literally when I mean, I didn't know I only had 27 days left with him. But that's like really at the heart of like constantly being with him at the hospital. And so no wonder I had no bandwidth to even see the drama that was happening, unfolding. Sasalea said, yeah, Luca fandom was so fun until it wasn't. Yeah. Deb says the whole point of this is Luke and Nick. Their love is what we fell for. Love in its purest form. Kristen said a division in the fandom for sure. Ida Pita said, like, honestly, I'm sad too. I'm not a Luke fan. Like, he's not for me, but I still follow this ship. Ronnie said, I've been marking it because that's what I do. Fallon _Bridgerton _Pollen said, you should get on Threads because the fandom is wonderful on there. Ida Pita said, still enjoyed it. KM Shoppy said, I think that the fun stopped when some content creators crossed the line. And KM Shoppy, how did you, like when you said cross the line, like when did you know, like what's the line? I mean, I have ideas of what that means for myself, but, like, how did you know, like the minute was it the, like, actually, I'm not going to assume, like, you can let me know what that definition is for you. Sasalea said, you were rooting for their love. Alux Few Canna 40 said, I think that's why it's so frustrating. Friends to lovers in real life are always frustrating. Sasalea said, so sweet. Rose _Teresa 66 said, be flexible and taking the moral high ground when in reality we know nothing. Yes. I mean, I think it's really important to be to constantly remind ourselves that we know nothing. I think that, I mean, we know what we know, but we don't know what we think sometimes that we know. You know what I mean? Like, we got to leave room for that. Like, Mo Lambert said it went from Pollen to Luke and Nick, I think because of the press tour. We wanted them to be together. Bessie Boo said if it's meant to be, it will happen. Ronnie said those weren't the problem. Ronnie, could you clarify what those means? Who those weren't the problem? Deb says favorite part of Bridgerton was the world tour with Luke and Nick. Nish says, I do think they are going to find their way back together eventually, but will be very private at first. Sasalea said, yeah, I didn't like seeing that happening to you and a couple others. Oh, what was happening? Oh gosh, this is what happens when I start talking and then I never check the comments until after the fact. I never know what people are fully responding to. The funny thing is, when I sometimes listen back to these lives, like, I absolutely know what you all are talking about. It's kind of like when I get removed from my own mind and I hear the whole thing, I'm like, my memory's better, but like for some reason when I'm doing it live, like I can't remember what I just read or what I just did. I don't know why. Heartfelt said shipping celebs does exist since 50s, especially from Asia, like Philippines, which is called Love Team. Kristen said, I think the downfall was that people started to get mean toward Luke and each other in the fandom. Jan said, don't let others bother you. 99.9% of us are with you. Rose _Teresa 66 said, some people get subtly and some are very literal. And this is where misunderstands occur. Yeah, I can get that. Genevieve Daigle said these people need to scroll on. Seriously. Karina03 said, good morning. Good morning, Karina. Colin and Penn are friends to lovers. People need to scroll on by if they don't agree. I mean, I don't think they disagree with the Colin and Penn are friends to lovers, but the post I did was about Luke and Nicola. And to me, like, I've always separated Pollen from Lukola. I know some people like blend it, but to me, Pollen is like, we already know that Pollen is endgame because they literally are married in the show. But Lukola, that's still up in the air, you know. Amy MM69 said some people are taking it upon themselves to be the shipper police. Just scroll on, people. Bessie Boo said the haters are always the loudest. Malali Maki said, I don't know, but I have a feeling that Nicola is so over this. Jan said, laterals are out of the question. Don't let them bother you. Laterals. I don't know if y'all can hear that blowing of the nose out there. It cracks me. It's so loud. It's like a trumpet. But I laugh every time because literally that's how I blow my nose too. So that's why I have to mute myself if I have to blow my nose. Nish, yeah. I mean, I can't help it if other folks do think about the individual. I just can't. I just can't. It just takes over too much. Nish says, guys, personally, I don't think about A or J. We gotta worry about it at this point. Yeah. I think part of the respecting their private lives literally is not talking about A or J. For me. Now, I know that might be different for other people, but life is much easier. Oh my word. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It just sounds horrible. But like all I can say is like anytime A or J is brought into the conversation, like Luke and Nicola are in a show and they're gonna give us things from the show and all these different things. A or J are literally like off, to me it's off limits. I think that is part of and I've pretty much tried to keep both off my stuff anyway, even before all of this, but I do think they're off limits as a focus, because a lot of people didn't ask to be part of the narrative. Now, some people might feel like people are trying to be part of the narrative, and I get it. But like, I don't know. My word, it keeps going. I'm getting so distracted by it. Okay, Watching Lady says hi. Hi, GMYL. Nisha, Threads fandom is wonderful. I agree. It's the least toxic one for sure. So opposite of the other platform that was originally there, that probably Threads was meant to counter and have a new kind of platform that could replace that other platform. So that I'm glad to hear that. Bones says, I'm late. What are we talking about? Just talking about navigating the Lukola waters and what that looks like for everybody. Oh my word. It's so loud. Alexa said, I think people need to just stop putting opinions as facts and overanalyzing every little thing and just enjoy them individually until we hopefully get them together. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know if you hear that, but it is so loud. I'm not made for this. I'm very easily distracted. Bones says agree with that. M. Fonticiela said, honestly, the personal lives are none of our business. Jan, LOL, are you sure it's not a trumpet? Can y'all hear it though? Can y'all hear it? Because it's like, it keeps going and going. But no, it's blowing the nose. I blow my nose like that too, but like, man, a part of me is like, man, is there a lot going on? Like, this is long. This is longer than usual. Bo says, just lean into it. Jan says, yes, we hear. Ronnie said, the only reason Threads is less toxic is because it's less people. The more people, the more complex. I think, right on, Ronnie. That's probably very much true. Because, I think even our fandom, like, became more complex as it got more people. So, like, there's the OG folks, right? And then I'm not an OG. I came in during the promo tour section, right? So for the OG folks, they would could feel like adding the complexity increased when a lot of promo tour people came on to the ship. But then there were more people that came even after that, so like it gets more complex. People have more opinions, more thoughts, more whatever. And it's like, how do you make spaces and how do you engage with each other? All this stuff. Like there's a lot of layers to it for sure. Rose_Teresa66 says, the only thing I will say about JNN is his mutual friends teased him on IG openly. Ronnie, real quick, now that I think about it with the threads, do you think though the threads might have a lot more parameters than the other platform? Because I feel like the other platform didn't become as chaotic as it did now until like a lot of parameters were removed, and then it became incredible. Like it, there was always segments that were toxic, but for the most part, it could be shut down quicker. And now like there's nothing that can shut it down. Like it just becomes almost a cesspool of like anybody can say anything and do anything, and there's no real consequence. Genevieve.daigle said has two smiley faces. Hello, Linnell. 4KNK said, who is snoring? No one's snoring. They're like they're blowing their noses, and also like they were hacking. so yeah. It just keeps going, y'all. This is too much. This is unusual. This is a high level of like blowing up the nose. Like, which may be like a sign that the air here is very dry. Maybe we need like a humidifier or something. Cindy said, I love analyzing every fact and pretending they're together. So there's that. Nikki said yes. Jan says, that's a lot of blowing. It totally is. It really is. Rose_Teresa66 says, totally agree about threads, Ronnie. Ronnie said it always does. Kristen said, L&N have said they love that we ship them and it's sweet, but the fans need to be kind to each other. Rose_Teresa66 says possible about parameters. Ronnie said the parameters aren't much different as FB and Insta, same company. I'm talking about the other platform that was supposed to counter. The threads was supposed to counter. I felt like that other platform used to have a lot more parameters that no longer exist. Karina03 said, it's okay, Phoebe. Cracking me up a little. Going out for brunch. Thanks for the live. Have a great day. Thank you. Ronnie said, but Elon is a whole other level of depravity, which is impressive. LOL. I mean, I know some people in the space might disagree, but I'm more apt to agree with you, because of just how I've seen it change, tremendously over the time. I used to love that platform. It used to be a really good platform for me. Not so much anymore. Rose_Teresa66, the nose blowing person. Is that a family member? It is. 4KNK said, nice to hear you laughing. Rose_Teresa66, the platform that was once bird related. Yes. Nikki said, I feel like this is a place to have fun and enjoy the ride on the ship. I agree. Drama Geek 886 says, in my opinion, we're a primarily female fandom and project a lot into L. All right. Wow. I hit the end of the messages here. So I don't know if there's anything else folks wanted to talk about, or if you have any other things that you're sharing about how you're navigating the Lukola, fandom, or the Lukola waters, what your own like way of trying to make sure that you are engaging in ways that are kind to each other, that people can have their opinions and feel very like strong about it, and yet like be kind with each other and make space to be wrong, make space to even if you're right, to still make space for kindness, 4KNK said that other platform is unhinged. It has become very much so, I feel like. Helen Sherwood said, I nearly came off the ship this week. So you said nearly, but you did not. Was there anything that kept you on the ship? Was it because Luke posted? And I know that Ronnie and Sammy were going to talk about, and Ronnie, you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but Sammy was doing some research around the invasion of celebrity privacy or something like that. Or are you still here, Ronnie? Can you confirm or deny what I just said? Because I feel like you were going to potentially have Sammy on a live to discuss that. Cindy said, watch for a season 4 picture this week, hoping with the baby. That would be so cute, Cindy. A little redheaded baby. I would love it. Ronnie said, yes, we are planning on a live in November. Dang! In November? You're a real planner, Ronnie. That's a long time away. Wait, no, we're in October. How did we get here so fast? Oh my word. It's October. Oh my word. We're mid-October. How did we get here? Oh my word. I forgot that November's next month. I was thinking that was like 2 months away. My sense of time. I really feel like I lost like that month. Not lost, obviously. I loved not loved, that's not the right word, but that time with Chad, that September, like I think time was lost in a lot of ways. Like I forgot that, like that I remember that month happened, but also it's like, oh, we're in October already? Like how did the time fly, you know? And it's like, well, it did. Nikki said, my thought is if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Ronnie, yeah, your October is really booked. I can imagine. Helen sure was just because he posted, but I don't get a good feeling from the Jay situation anymore. Ronnie said, you know how many shows and movies people have me watching? I know. I tried to watch Outlander episodes 5 through 10, and I don't know. I was so tired, Ronnie. I think I fell asleep in parts of 5 and 6. But I was awake for episode 7, which but anyways, but I have to watch 8 and 10. I mean, I have to watch 8, 9, and 10 still. And plus I have to watch Dawson's Creek to be ready for our lives. Rose_Teresa66 says, I have unfollowed a few creators because it is exhausting, but still supportive of most and still fun. Bones says, I can't believe we are here either. The holidays are really right around the corner. Do people like love doing like corn mazes or pumpkin, like going to like pumpkin patch? No, is that pumpkin? Like you get your pumpkins and like get your like go to those like pumpkin farms and stuff like that. Ronnie said, also I have the cult mentality chat in early November, all with Kristen, Gen V, and Mel 2.0. Ooh, nice. All sounds interesting. Are you putting Ronnie, are these going to be like, are you creating like live events for this so people can sign up for it, like to be registered to know when it's happening? Because I'd like to know if I'm available to sit in on those chats. I know like the majority of the time my lives are not put in as a live event because I don't know when I'm doing them. But then obviously the Outlander one and Dawson's Creek one, those I have put in. Or if I have a special guest like I had with Eden or other folks I've had as a guest, then those I put in as a live event because those are more like solid typically. But anyways, just wondering. Shelly Mrs. T said, hi all. Hi. Ronnie said the cackle. I just cackled. Episode 7 would be the one. Kristen said, if I see a post I don't agree with, then I just scroll. We can kindly agree to disagree or just scroll. Yeah. Tiffany said yes. Shelly Mrs. T said, we pumpkin pick in the UK. Cindy said, my house is insane. Everything Halloween. So are you like the person that like has like all the Halloween decorations inside, also outside? Like the ones that I love, like I saw the one where they have those like blow up like things, but they're talking. And they did the New Girl one, like where they have like the mummy and the pumpkins and the whatever, they're all talking and their mouths are moving with the sounds that they're putting out. I think those are so cute. I don't know where that came from, but I love them. Ronnie said, I will once I know the date. Sounds good. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, love autumn. I do love autumn. Like, I do. There's aspects of it, like sweater weather, like, oh, what is happening? Sorry, it's happening again. But anyways, but like I just like the hot cocoa, sipping hot cocoa with the marshmallows and pumpkin spice, I guess, maybe, I don't know. And then, I don't know, there's just a lot of fun events that happen during, like, this time of year. Linnell said, love pumpkin patches when my kids were little. Oh, my word, y'all. I did this corn maze where it said hard or easy, right? And the easy, we decided to do hard, and we could not, like, figure out how to beat it. It was only after we got back and realized the hard one was called a loop. So there was no way, like, it just kept looping us, and I thought we were doing something wrong. But it turned out that was why it was hard, because we just kept looping ourselves over and over and over. I was just like, oh my word, the clue was in the name of the hard, like, the hard corn maze. They're literally telling us it's a loop, and we were wondering, like, why are we always getting kicked out in the same spots, you know? Anyways, Cindy said yes, yes, and yes. Michelle MAD said, my neighbors have 3 giant blow-ups. Bone says, some people really go all out for Halloween. Yeah. There's ones, you know, where, like, there's ones where they make it look like their house is on fire. Like, I always think that those are very convincing, that some people said, do green so you won't have, like, people calling the cops saying, like, your house is on fire, which I think is a really good, thing to suggest. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, we don't go as crazy as the US over Halloween, but we are catching up. Bone says, they might need a sinus wash. I will let them know. Bessie Boo said, it's Thanksgiving week in Canada, so after that, I will get the Halloween stuff out. Oh, so your Thanksgiving is prior to Halloween. Shelly Mrs. T said, I love autumn when you're home, out of the cold, having the heating on candles lit and getting all cozy. Yes, I love coziness. Also, not about Halloween or autumn. Well, maybe. But how many of y'all tend to watch, like, Hallmark Channel movies, like something equivalent to that? You know, where you're, like, watching a show that's so, like, predictable, but, like, you love it because it's predictable. Like, I like the comfort of predictable movies. That is pretty much the same show every year, just different characters. And then they always love to use the same actors in so many movies that you're like, which movie am I watching? Is he like, whose hometown visit is this that's gonna, like, from a big town, big city coming into the hometown, past, like, boyfriend, or whose father is Santa Claus, or you know the whole whatever Hallmark always does. I mean, can you imagine Luke and Nicola doing a Hallmark movie? Oh my word. Stop. Keeps going. Hold on. I'm gonna this is for Marie, if Marie was actually in this space. Real quick, I need to just unplug something. Okay, I'm back. Oh, Marie is probably like, oh, I haven't seen the gingerbread, but I'm here for just a mere second. Okay, I'm back. Sarah HCK said, I got lost in a corn maze in the rain last fall. Oh, that's not fun. That is not fun. How long did it take for you to eventually get out? Bone said, we are getting pumpkin pedicures next week. I have terrible allergies, so I avoid the hay. Oh, but that's cute. Not the allergies, but the pumpkin pedicures. Ronnie says, cries in Southern. Bone said, me. Cindy said, never, but my husband likes to. Weird, right? Shelly Mrs. T said, oh, you can't beat a chick flick. Shelly Mrs. T said, I've just finished watching Nobody Wants This. Defo worth a watch. Cindy said, he's Barbie and I am Ken. Ronnie said, that'll be the only Hallmark movie I'd willingly watch. I don't know what it is, Ronnie. I get suckered into them things. I think I like the safety of the predictability. Like, I don't want them to throw me a curve and give me a show with depth. Like, don't do that. Like, I'm not here, Hallmark, for depth. I'm here for predictability, for me to know, like, what the storyline is that I could, like, literally, you know, and I'm not here for the acting, because the acting sometimes not the best. But I'm just here, like, I mean, and I'm going to be fully honest, Ronnie. I have been suckered into, like, the things on TikTok where it's really bad acting. Like, literally bad acting. But it's like those little clips that they have where they're trying to promote like a show on an app or something. And it's literally bad acting. And I'm like, this is such bad acting. But why am I suckered into it? Because I still want to know what happens in the end. There's something relatable about the story, or you're just trying to cheer on. Like, you want to know who this or that, or I don't know. It's a weird thing. But I get suckered in. I'm like, yes. Give me that predictability. Give me that bad acting. Nikki said, we are having a very warm autumn where I live. Get to see the trees change and short sleeves. Rose_Teresa66 says, unsurprisingly, the Bonnet movies come out and always Gilmore Girls. In fact, Gilmore Girls big with my daughters. My friend was such a big fan of Gilmore Girls. Bessie Boo said, I always start rewatching Outlander around this time of year. Oh, you can join us then in our Outlander rewatch. For other folks, watch for me. Nikki said, I love Hallmark this time of year. Bone says, yes, they're just feel-good, chill movies. No major drama. Just a quick speed bump. Yes, that's what I like about it, Bones. Just a quick speed bump. It's never really, like, you know, it's gonna be like really ridiculous. And like those like those ridiculously long names for their festivals. Like, they did a joke of it in their last season. In the last year for their Hallmark, there was one movie where they literally called the festival like 7 words to describe this festival. And I'm like, y'all are just getting ridiculous now. Now you're leaning into like what people joke about in regards to Hallmark movies. Ronnie said, I get it. I really do. Rose_Teresa66 says, there has been talk of L&N doing some joint projects. That would be interesting. I think it would be interesting. Shelly Mrs. T said, I feel like that with the Good Witch series, LOLX. I've never watched the Good Witch series. Is that with, what's her name? That cute little girl that, well, I guess she's not a little girl anymore. Bailey Madison? I don't remember. RH Gibb 01 said, Hallmark movies were the only thing I would watch after a major surgery. It's a feel-good thing. Samesies. Rose_Teresa66 says, expect L&N will want to play different characters. Bone says, my daughter made me watch a horror movie last night. I hate them. We watched The Nun too. I watched that with Chad. I mean, I would only watch something like that with Chad. I would not. It's so funny. Like, the amount of movies that I went to watch just for him. I would not watch certain things typically, but then I think he watched certain things for me too. But he's more apt to like watch, like he's more open to watch anything, but yeah, definitely I would not watch that on my own. I've watched more horror flicks for him than I would ever watch. I just get scared naturally. Even if it's like really like, though I find that if I just look at the screen, it's less scary than my imagination. Like, the jump scares are always what gets me. Linnell said, bye, I'll have to walk my dog. Okay. Have a good walk there, Linnell. Bone says, that's so sweet. You're such a good friend. You were a blessing in his life. Thanks. I always just promised that I wouldn't accidentally hit him, but that was not always like the case, because sometimes he'd have to protect himself because you know, if I get startled, I just karate chop accidentally, you know, like Ah! And what I hate is when I've actually literally screamed in movies that should not be scary. And I don't remember what movie I was watching, but it was like a literal kid movie. And I just got startled and I yelled, and all the kids looked at me with judgment, and they weren't wrong. I'm like, why am I yelling in this kid movie? And all the kids are like, it's not even scary. And I'm like, I know, I just got startled, okay? Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, strangely, I can watch a horror, but not one with acute suspense. See, you know what is the scariest movie for me? And it still chills me to the bone to this day. Oh, literally, it's Lovely Bones. I hated that movie. I liked it, but I hated it. Because to me, that's the scariest movie I could ever see. Because it's a movie, well, yeah, she's talking, so that part of it is not, like, real-ish. But, like, it's the fact that it's the neighbor. Oh, wait, if you've never watched the movie. But anyways, the point being, like, it's something that can happen in real life and does happen in real life. And that kind of stuff scares me. Like, it's things that can really happen scare me more than things that I don't think are likely to happen. You know what I mean? Ronnie said, none is up there with Jason, Michael, and Freddie now. Tiffany said, I watch Hallmark. I used to watch it all the time. I went to the Christmas con for Hallmark last year. Oh, I didn't even know there was a Christmas con for Hallmark. Shelly, Mrs. T said, The Good Witch is a good series to have on in the background. Rose underscore Teresa 66, for example, Lady in Black. And I agree about The Lovely Bones. Yeah. Teague says, Lovely Bones was so scary. So scary. To me, it just brought chills down my spine because I was like, this happens. This stuff happens. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says, think Luke would make a great villain. He would love to play a villain, like he said. You know what? Obviously, I feel like Luke is a big enough star. He doesn't have to do SVU. But, like, how many people went on SVU, like Law and Order SVU, and became, like, really big stars? He's already a big star. But, like, I wouldn't mind having Luke play something on Law and Order SVU. I don't know why. I just think that they have really great villains on... Well, not villains, but, like, he could play a character in Law and Order SVU. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm throwing that out as a possibility. I don't know if that's like going backwards to do a television show, but I just feel like a lot of stars came out of there. Shelly, Mrs. T said, the worst horror I've watched is arachnophobia, the biggest fear with spiders. Oh, that's my friend. That stuff scares the living daylights out of her. She's like, no, thank you. Oh, Ronnie said Stanley Tucci at his scariest. I agree. I don't know what I feel about the ending. I almost feel like the ending, that he got off too easy. Allie said, I feel like both Luke and Nicola would slay as villains. I can see that. Rose underscore Teresa 60. They could be Bonnie and Clyde. No, just kidding. Rose underscore Teresa 66 said, one of the positives about NYC week is that the love for Luke has returned. Nikki said, I have the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Teague says, Wrong Turn still haunts me. Wrong Turn. Is that a movie? Omara, Robin Williams was on an episode of SVU. Oh, you're right. Omara. And that one was chilling. Robin Williams was so good in that episode. And I don't know, was he only in one episode or was he in two? I can't remember how it ended. I feel like maybe there was two, maybe it was just one, but that was a really, really, really good episode of SVU. Ronnie said, Eliza how do you say Dushku? Road Trip. It was, how do you say that? But I mean, I know who you're talking about. She was like in, wasn't she like in Angel or Buffy? Omar said he pled, he played a creepy character. Yeah, it was very creepy. It was really well done. Rose underscore Teresa 66 says it's always impactful when comedians play villains. Are there other examples of when comedians? when people, when comedians play a villain. I don't know any off the top of my head. Ronnie said, yes, she was in Buffy Angel. That was wrong turn. Um, wait, that was the wrong turn? Yes, she was in Buffy. That was wrong turn. Okay. I'm not sure if I fully understand, but, oh, you know what? Another quick thing. I was listening to, who's planning to watch Wicked? Okay, Rose _ Teresa 66 says, well, I've got to go and start prepping Sunday dinner. Enjoy, making dinner, Rose. Ronnie said Eliza was in wrong turn. Sorry. Okay, gotcha. AAM _ 1978. Me. Ronnie said Wicked will be my entire personality. Here's the thing. Like, I saw the interview with Ariana and oh my word. It's like the whole, I mean, I think it's almost the whole cast, like 4 of them were on there. But anyways, they were talking about, but Ariana specifically was talking about Jonathan Bailey and his dancing ability and like how wowed she was about it. And that she's like, every time I have an interview, I'm going to talk about it because it's just so amazing. Teague says Teague said me. Can't wait for Wicked. Ronnie said Cynthia and yes, like such glowing like statements around Jonathan Bailey, which Shelly Mrs. T said, I can't wait to see it. Tis I Megan said Monique and Precious. Oh, I've never seen Precious. Oh, she was a villain in that one, huh? Yeah, I've never seen that one. But yes, I am looking forward to seeing Wicked. I've never seen the play itself, but I did see like a clip of like Ariana talking about like how being Glenda, or is it Glenda? Oh, you see, like my lack of knowledge shows, but like that was always like her dream to play. And so I can only imagine her excitement of being able to play her biggest dream. Bone says, OMG is so good. You're going to love it. Ali said, Jonathan sounds so good in the trailer. Ronnie said, Galinda. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited for that, for her. I know that that's another thing, right, where people have opinions because of just choices she's made on a personal tip. But, like, I think, I do miss the days where we didn't know too much. Oh, because I think, like, it just ruins the ability to just, like, take the art for what it is. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for me to say. Because sometimes it's important to know stuff, but, like, I don't know. I just feel like it takes us out. Like, I don't feel like one person's personal decisions should affect everybody else who have put their blood, sweat, and tears into a show. And then people are like, I'm not going to watch it because of this one person's personal life. And it's like, how about all these other people who, like, you don't know their personal lives, but they've been working their butts off and this is a big thing for them. And, like, you're not going to see it now just because of that. It's like you don't have to like her, but she can still do a good job. I saw her on SNL and I thought she did a fantastic job. Well, I didn't see her on SNL. I saw the clips on TikTok of her on SNL, and I was like, she's funny. She's good at what she does. And so what if she has? I mean, not so what. Obviously, like, but she's not my friend. You know what I mean? I don't know if people are judging me for that, but who cares? I really don't. But Shelly Mrs. T said, I would love to see Luke in theater, Moulin Rouge, or The Greatest Showman. Oh yeah, especially Greatest Showman. People are saying. Ronnie said, same, Phoebe. Bone says, I do too. I miss the 90s. Yeah, I mean, I do believe, like, it's important to hold people accountable and things of that nature. But, like, when it's things like that, where I'm, like, literally, like, the fact that it even made the news, I felt like would have been harder for the actual people involved in it. Especially the spouse or all that stuff, because it's like the public doesn't need to know all that messiness because, like, it's just hurtful to the family. Like, let them work that out privately. Like, why does that gotta be everybody's business? Nikki says, love to see in Hamilton. I mean, and it also, like, when that becomes a big deal versus like actual like little legitimate things that people should be held accountable for because it affects the masses, if somebody has a particular thought pattern that might be damaging or something like that, versus like somebody made a decision that's like completely something I would disagree with and I'm not happy about, but like literally needs to be sorted out privately. Like let's there is a very big difference between, for me at least, between personal decisions that I'm not a fan of and I don't agree with versus like this person is doing some straight up damaging, you know, P. Diddy level things. That deserved to, that one deserved to come to light. That's not like, oh, that's your own that's like a lot of like wild things, and which I have not even kept kept up with or anything, but I still have heard enough. Though I will say, when Eminem came out with that song, that was pure genius lyrically. Like, Eminem still comes out so strong lyrically. Ronnie said that everyone misses the plot. Bo says Diddy. Yeah, like, no, but honestly, like, Eminem, do y'all know the Eminem song that I'm talking about? Where he's like, he says, did he I can't remember the line exactly. It says something like, did he just spell rapper without the other P? Oh, do you know what? Fuel. Yeah. Ronnie said, dude, I don't care what these kids say about M. He still drops gems. Shelly Mrs. T says he calls him out in the song. Genevieve says fuel. Yeah. Woke P32 said Eminem is brilliant lyrically and a poet. But do y'all know the line that I'm talking about? When he's like, did he just spell rapper with only, like, with, oh, I'm going to butcher it, but with just like one P? He's like, and then he said, he didn't just, he didn't just spell rapper with one P, did he? Oh, when he said that line, he didn't spell rapper with one P, did he? Oh, it's just like that lyrical genius about that. The lyrical genius. He didn't just spell rapper with one P, did he? Ah! I can't stand it. I can't stand how genius that man is lyrically. Like, no, he spins circles around so many people. Like, I mean, when I say to folks that when I write my lyrics, it's so plain and so regular because it's meant to be picked up by anybody. It's not meant to be like, oh, you're a lyrical genius. And I was telling this to my friend and I was like, the way I write songs is very plain and simple. I'm not like a lyrical genius like Eminem. And she's like, you literally, that's the first person that you think of when to describe a lyrical genius. And I said, yes. And she goes, I like it. Because he is. There is something to the levels that there is levels to Eminem. Okay. And I know people have their feelings. I know that some folks in the newer generation may have thoughts on him, but I love him. He was always, I mean, if you're going to say problematic, there was never a time that he wasn't saying stuff that was causing waves. He always was causing waves. Even then. But even just watching him now with his daughters, like, I'm like, he fought to give them a good life. He literally fought to have, like, so to see him now be a granddaddy or gonna be a granddaddy, it's like, it's just so wild to me. Bones says he's so good. Ronnie said it's the simple things. Melly maybe said he is the best. Yeah, Genevieve, when he said S-A-S-A, oh my word. Yeah. Ronnie, he'll always be in my top 2. Kendrick is my number 1. Tanya said, we love M in our house. My kids even love him. What songs we allow them to listen to. Chantel said, he is a lyrical genius. My favorite is watching TTs about Gen Z Alpha want to cancel him. Woke P32 said, the real truth speaker. And Melly Maybe said, I love that he's not scared to make those waves. Ronnie said he's standing on the right side of history and his story. Bone said, I love that TT with his daughter getting the ultrasound. Yeah. Nikki said, have to go to work. Have a great day, y'all. Have a great day. But yeah, no, I didn't mean to get all off on this like sub thing, but just to say, like, I think like I think that there is Tanya said, did anyone see his daughter's podcast video? She announced the gender. No, I did not. I actually didn't even know she had a podcast. What I will say is, I think that, like, it's just an interesting thing, because even though it was kind of like a rabbit trail that I went on, at the end of the day, like, I do think it still falls in line with Luke and Nicola, which is like, where is the line between like the fascination of people's personal lives and like having opinions on it, versus like knowing too much, like sometimes knowing too much. Tanya said, LOL, yeah, it's called A Little Shady Podcast, but it's a boy. Oh, cute. Oh my word. Do you think they're gonna name him like maybe not the first name, but maybe the middle name, like Marshall or something? I mean, could you imagine that they choose to, and then they tell Eminem and he starts bawling? I want it. Put it on camera. Make it happen. Just kidding. Hi, Rin Essay. And so, I don't know. Shelly, Mrs. T said, I think it's more that people are so relatable to the LNN situation. Yeah, I mean, yes. And I mean, I think people love, and I think we saw that. So, I mean, in their case, it's not a negative thing, right? Like, versus like the Ariana thing. Oh my word. Is it still happening? How? What is going on with the nose today? Okay. So loud. Okay, I gotta talk to her, because I don't know what, like, it's, how long did I start complaining about it versus like now? Like, it's been a while, okay? Not complaining. I shouldn't be complaining. It's not her fault. But I'm just like, it's been long. And she complains if I like have to sneeze like 3 times in a row, but like, come on. If you gotta blow your nose, you gotta blow your nose. But dang, this has been long. Ronnie said Marshall. Shelly, Mrs. T said, I think it's more, oh wait, I read that already. And also everyone wants to be loved. Ronnie said, people project on everything. That's how we move through life and experience. Genevieve says, have you heard temporary? No. Jan said she might hear you talking. I don't think she does. But have you heard temporary? No, I don't know what that is. Tanya said, hope you have a great day. I have to go buy food for my daughter's party. Oh, enjoy, Tanya. Hope your daughter has a great party. But what is temporary? What is that? But I'll probably stay for like maybe 9 more minutes. Because I'm now like going on all these various paths that so different from where we started, but I was just like, but yeah, all to say, like, sometimes I like I miss mystery. Can I say that? I just miss the mystery, or like, I just miss not knowing everybody's business. Like I feel like life was better when we didn't know everybody's business. Like, you know? Oh, song to his daughter, Genevieve says. Oh, okay, wait, I think I do. Did he make a music video of this? Bone said it was definitely more simple. Yeah. Ronnie said, I'll stick around. I need to go answer more comments, and people got me thinking this early. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that, you know, I wonder for folks, like, what do you think is like, okay, who here experienced life before social media became a big thing? Genevieve said this album. Ronnie said temporary is great. And Philip says, hey, yo, how long y'all been in here? I think I just hit, like, I'm not quite sure how long I've been on M. Phillips. But it's good to see you. Chantel said, me, D as well. Elichada, good morning. Ronnie also. Bones says, do a poll. Okay. D said born 1978. Elichada said me. Yes, me. Okay, let's do a poll. I just did a video commenting on that, Phoebe, too. Oh, did you? All right, so I'm going to do a poll real quick. Who here has experienced life before social media? If red is the smiley face is yes. The crying face is no. Did you experience life before social media? Smiley is yes. Crying is no. It seems like overwhelmingly everybody experienced life prior to social media. Okay? And as we continue to vote on this, like, I just want to ask, like, what do you think, like, for me, life was simpler. It really was. There are benefits to social media. Wombat 6, so am I. I'm a Zennial. So I'm in both worlds, yes. I got to experience life without it, but I also got to experience, like, my teenage years with it, but not to the level that it is right now. What do you think would you say? Yeah, Ronnie said 100, life was simpler. Diana said, yes, time was slower. Yeah, it looks like we don't even have one person who chose to do this poll that came after social media. Bowen says, way simpler. Wombat 6, I prefer awkward years without social media evidence. Ava said, ignorance was bliss, but I'm curious, so it's mutual beneficial. Ronnie said, I was able to focus more. And D said, we know more than we need to. Yeah, I just do think we know more than we need to. Melissa said, I'm Gen X, so I watched it unfold. It was so much simpler. Here's the thing, what I love, Bone said, less worries. Shelly, Mrs. T said, kids don't understand a terrible dial-up internet. Oh my word. Oh, I hear you. That sound is forever embedded in my ears. But then I also love you've got mail. Andrew FK said, same here. Bessie Boo said, I miss the days where kicking a rock down the road was entertaining. I kind of still do think. Bowen says, the dial-up internet. Yeah. I will say this, like, the benefit that I have found that I love about social media is that ability to make connections with people in ways that can be meaningful. I mean, it is a choice whether interactions are meaningful or not. So I have absolutely loved that aspect of social media. But the aspect of social media that I haven't been as much of a fan of is that everybody thinks that like, just because they can, that they should. Like, just because I can tell you what I think doesn't mean I should, but people feel like because I have access to just tell strangers what I feel about them when I have zero context to their actual life, I'm going to do it. And I think the judginess, the unkindness sometimes comes from feeling emboldened behind a keyboard or behind a screen and all these different things. That stuff would not have happened pre-social media. Like, people would not have typically would not have the guts to just say half of the things that they say to people online. Shelly, Mrs. T said, life was defo more private compared to now. Kristen said, keyboard warriors. Ronnie said, exactly, Phoebe. Unfortunately, the tool is used for the most negative aspects of human habits. Melissa said, people feel braver behind the screen. And that's the thing, right? Like, every tool can be used for good as well as it could be used for something more negative. And yet it does, like, tap into that. You know, they found that in algorithms, right? They found that if they can get you angry, you will stay on the app longer. And so you're more likely to get exposed to things that will anger you than things that typically make you happy. Or at least maybe not angry, but something that will elicit a response from you that will make you then stay longer on their app. Dee said that our high school students can't access their phones during the day. They have to keep them in a secure sealed bag that the school can only unlock. Oh my word, that must be hard for kids. Is it hard for them? Or have you found that it's actually been good for them because it's helped them engage with each other more in person? It is hard for them. Yes. I mean, yeah, I mean, but they are engaging. Yeah. I mean, I know that like it's harder too now that so much on a smartphone, right? Is everything is in your smartphones these days. Back in the day, you could disengage very easily. Andrea FK said my son is in junior high and same, he's not allowed his phone in school. Yeah, like there used to be a point in time, right, where it's like, oh, I forgot what I was saying. Why does my mind go there? But anyways, all to say, um, Bev says social media helps older people stay socially and emotionally connected. Yes. I mean, I think there are benefits to social media. And it's just, you know, wanting to bring out the best in people in social media instead of being emboldened to be like cruel and unkind to people and feel like people have freedom to just be that way because they don't think they're ever going to see that person in real life. D said they are learning how to communicate and problem solve face to face. Elichata said, wish we had that at school. We have a no phones in school rule, but kids still pull them out. D said the school is definitely louder though. Yeah, I think in the end, people do appreciate, you know, I appreciated the days where my phone was just my phone. But like right now, I'm doing my TikTok live on my phone, right? Like everything is on my phone. So like my calendar is on my phone, all my apps to like, you know, everything that I need to do is on my phone, my emails on my phone. Like it's so much harder to turn off the phone because you're not just turning off your phone usually. You're turning off all of these other things that you might need access to, which is very difficult sometimes. So sometimes part of me is like, maybe I should just go back to a simple phone. There's times that I feel this way. Maybe I should just go back to a time where I have a simple phone and then use like a tablet to have everything else. I don't know. Bone said, living with a new disability, social media has been my lifeline. I have lost so many of my real life friends. Oh, Bones, I'm so sorry to hear that. But again, that's why it's always like holding that balance of recognizing that as much as social media has had damaging effects, it has also been lifelines and been important social connections for people. And sometimes in the same way that some people are emboldened to say things that are negative that they would never say in real life, it also has emboldened people to be more vulnerable and honest about things that they might be less likely to say in person, but like it's necessary for them to convey those feelings to people, not in a negative way, but like I'm bearing my soul kind of way. Because I know of people who feel closer again to folks that are online because they feel like they can say things to them in ways that they can't say to real life counterparts. Ronnie said, I hope the next stage of human evolution is simply related to emotional intelligence. Oh, Ronnie, yes, that would be fantastic. I think that is really important to have emotional intelligence. Shelly, Mrs. T said, for some people, it's turning a part of their life off as phones are constantly in some hands. Yes. And I'm going to say that's me. I really have a hard time and I need to sometimes disengage. Actually, like when the guy that I used to like, right, who moved away, I knew that I liked him. I knew that I liked him when I was with him for like 12 hours and never once did I look at my phone. And it made me realize that when you're with the person you want to be with, like there's no reason you would look at your phone because so I sometimes wonder about that myself. Cause like one time I remember walking with a friend of mine and I had my phone or something and she looked at me straight up and said, Phoebe, if you're going to be here, be here. And it was like a good reprimand, right? And so sometimes a part of me is like, why do I want to look at my phone if I'm with other people? So there's usually it's telling me sometimes like maybe there's a part of me that's disengaged because when I really am with people, like I'm really experiencing the people, like I don't like looking at my phone is like the least of my thoughts, you know? D said, okay, before you go cold turkey without the smartphone, do a test week. I mean, I think I think there's value in just having a phone that's just for like a phone, like phone calls and even and texts, but like not have everything else, because that's what I think makes it hard for me to turn it off, because I'm like, I gotta do this or I gotta do that, but it's on my phone. Bones says, I need to set boundaries, yet it's given me friends and access to care, people going through it too. Yeah, for sure. Bev says it's an amazing tool to promote films and PR for actors, keeping fans engaged, right? And yes, Bones says agree to put the phone down with in-person interactions, biggest irritation. You know, they have like those little games where people like put all their cell phones in the middle and like whoever picks it up first has to pay the bill. Have you seen those? Shelly Mrs. T said, since finding your page on here, you've kept me sane as my dad is dying with cancer. Oh, Shelly, so glad to watch. Oh, Shelly, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, as you know, with my friend who just recently died of renal cancer, like that has to be tough. That's tough. I hope you're able to spend as much time with him as possible during this whole thing, because it's, you know, when Chad told us in June, I really didn't think he would be gone by September 27th. That felt so fast. Like, I thought he had so much more time. And obviously I don't know how much time you'll have with your dad, but like, make those memories is all I can say. That's for sure. Bessie Boo said, we have rules in my household. No phone at the dinner table when we have visitors and in bed. Oh my word, the bed one. Oh, Bessie Boo, that would be the hardest for me. This is the reason I end up being scrolling up. Like, I really actually do need to like not, like, there should be, I used to try to do the like turn off my phone by 10 p.m. or something like that, because, or like don't, like, I can't have my phone while I'm in bed, but I'd be lying. Bessie Boo, I would be failing in your household, because this phone be in my hand in bed. Ronnie said, same Phoebe, LOL. Shelly Mrs. T said, thank you all. We spend as much time as we can. I'm his shadow. Oh. D said, but I really love being part of this Bridgerton and Lukola family. Me too. Honestly, at the end of the day, all the drama aside that's happened, you know, I feel incredibly blessed by this community. Like, I really have loved this community. I've loved all the conversations. I've enjoyed laughing with y'alls and getting giddy with y'alls, you know? And so that's why I'm like, I just want to have that, you know? I don't want all the like other stuff. If I can find a way to not have the other stuff, I just want to enjoy y'all's. I just want to enjoy the fandom. I just want to enjoy being happy about Lukola and being giddy about Lukola without people getting all serious, like it's something to be serious about. Like, it's because it's not. Ronnie said, yes, I was trying to do 8:30 p.m. and then the press tour happened. I will tell you that originally I had one of my nieces put a password like that was supposed to turn off my TikTok within the first 60 minutes or something like that of use. And then I told her to put the password so I wouldn't know what it is. And I kept that password there for like a year. I was good for a year. Then one day I broke it and I changed the password myself. And then after that, well, too bad. Then I didn't have the parameters that was set. So, bah. Bones says, this has been a great, uplifting, and fun live. Oh, yay, Bones. I'm glad to hear that. Watching Lady said, I'm back. Well, Watching Lady, I'm actually needing to go. I was saying that I was going to leave at 8:45 and it's 8:52. So I got to heads out because I want to get a little bit of food inside me right now. But Shelly Mrs. T said, I'm on the ship for the long haul. So am I. Endgame shipper over here. Watching Lady said, don't tell me you are leaving. I am. I'm heading out, like, to get food. I'm not leaving. I'm just getting food. I mean, I'm leaving this live, but I'm not leaving the app. I'm just getting food. Okay. Have a great day, Bones said. And then have a great day, everyone. Bye. Oh, y'all are so kind. Bye.